All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. Walt Disney. I want to pose a couple of questions to you. Do you believe in yourself? I mean, truly believe in yourself. Even if you encounter any hardships or impediments, do you still have the faith that deep down you can achieve whatever you want to pursue, despite not having any experience with what you long for? You are a person of destiny. You're not here by accident. There's no obstacle too big, no dream you can't accomplish. Joel Osteen. In the world of Little Witch academia, magic has become irrelevant to the grander world. It's a lot like ours. Innovation trumps what was seen as novel and uniquely impressive. Witches are looked down upon as old-fashioned by the public. And in the witching world, anyone who isn't born into a witch family is seen as not worthy to become a witch. It's inferred in the anime that anyone has magic potential, but in a world that dismisses magic, does it really matter anymore? But for Atsuko Kaguri, or Akko, is what she prefers to go by in the series, none of these challenges intimidate her childhood dream of becoming a cool witch like her idol, Shiny Cherry. As a first-generation witch, she passionately attends Luna Nova Academy, not with the notion to just learn magic, but to bring smiles on people's faces like her idol. Once classes start, she laments that these classes on magic can be boring and dull, often falling asleep during lessons. Studying and lectures soon become the last thing Akko's personality is suited for. The magic she strives for is flashy and made for the large stage. The first time I watched the Little Witch Academia TV series, I was surprised that the main character had no interest in the deeper scope of her passion on the academic level. This attitude Akko had was the perfect example of how not everyone can learn at the same rate or environment. We soon learn Akko has more of an individualized learning style, often finding refuge under her teacher, Ursula Callistus' guidance. As a person who seeks tutoring and extra time after class, I can relate a lot to Akko on this front. Comprehending lessons and asking questions is a lot easier in a one-on-one setting. Akko also shows her improvements when she's active or under pressure of time, rather than at a desk all day. By jumping into the fray of any new experience, she starts to acquire the knowledge she's been seeking, like when she found Shiny Chariot's shiny rod. I've always found that, like Akko, I learn better and remember things better by reforming the actions I want to learn in person rather than in a stationary spot. Constant repetition of one specific skill allows me also to comprehend it better than learning multiple things at once. A lot like how Akko focuses on her metamorphosis magic in the series, which progressively becomes her signature and most useful skill in anything she accomplishes. Thanks to Studio Trigger's beautiful animation, we see Akko's progress through her advancements in her metamorphosis magic. While other versions of this spell tend to be more realistic, Akko's had more of her own colorful persona mixed in. Her expressions, her facial features, and even her voice remained during these transformations. Her magic looked goofy and unusual to other witches, but at least it was her own spin on a traditional spell that no one else could replicate. This magic was nurtured and mastered through hours of training during the day and night, with or without Ursula. A drastic contrast to how dreadful and drab it originally was presented. This skill brings her closer to her dream of performance and putting a smile on people's faces. The name Atsuko means honest child. Depending on the writing, Ako's given name can have various meanings, such as warm child, passion/child. Atsuko's surname, Kagure, means campfire, fishing fire, beacon basket. Ako is a warm and honest person. Her charisma, like her last name, is like a campfire that draws the coolness of this world towards her, igniting their hearts with passion, like myself. Cultivating that fire of passion is what keeps our childlike wonder alive to chase our dreams. Ako is what's magic about Little Witch Academia, not because she's the protagonist, not the coming of age themes, and not even Studio Trigger's phenomenal animation. It's Ako Kagure.
And then I'll be a witch who makes everyone smile. Because magic will always be the most wonderful thing in the whole world to me. I want to learn.
Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can believe. Dennis Kimbrough. Since 2017, Little Witch Academia's TV series has ranked among my top anime. Similar to Ako watching Shiny Chariot's show as a child, I was enchanted by this whimsical little anime about a girl who wanted nothing more than to just make people happy with her own magic. It wasn't the best story, nor did it have the deepest message, but not every work of art does. Yet something about this series engrossed me unlike any other Trigger original. Watching the show was like witnessing what I could achieve if I worked hard, despite not having the skills or advantages others had gotten ahead of me. People, regardless of gender or age, advance in life at their own speed. No age is too late to start pursuing your goals. There's no reason you can't become a great artist when you're 50. If you want to write a book, go get a pen and paper. When you're passionate enough to take up something new, it's easy to start. The journey only gets harder the more you want it. The common understanding of freedom across the globe is the authority or privilege to engage in actions, voice opinions, or harbor thoughts as one sees fit, free from any form of obstruction or control. Ako is much like this, showing impulsiveness but also the resolve to continue her witch training, even if it means bending the rules to learn as she sees fit. Ako's deviation from the Samhain festival's sacrificial norm liberates Vaharos from her grief-imposed curse, ending a tradition but ultimately doing the progressive thing and solving an issue like witches used to do back in the day. That day, Ako didn't let others like the teachers or Diana, who ended up winning the festival competition by following the rules. Even though Ako didn't become the Moonlit Witch like she wanted that night, she still achieved her dream of performing and putting a smile on people's faces that evening. If it's your dream, don't let it dwindle because someone else told you you aren't meant to do it. I have a story about a friend who once told me my writing lacked experience. It didn't have enough effort or thought put into it, and that I should ultimately recycle what I already had. Because of where I currently was in my attempts, he saw little progression from where I started. He found that the topics and ideas in my stories are niche and not the standard. I've been reading and writing for improvement for about 4 years now, and I can proudly say I've refined a lot in that craft. I even finished my first novel last year. Of course, I'm not perfect, nor am I at a skill level I could proudly say I'm the best, but at least I've worked hard to get there. Experience does not equate to effort, in my opinion. This criticism held some weight as I always seek improvement, but for him to tell me essentially that I won't achieve what I strive for at my current rate is ridiculous. My passion is similar, I'd say, to Akko, which is why I think I relate to her in this show so well. I want to create original stories and form my own new style that doesn't rely on others. But I'm still young in my writing journey, and although I'm not always right, I won't give up until I can truly feel like I've mastered my own style. My friend at the same time has been in the practice of writing stories in the form of fanfics way longer than I have. And he even has a father who's written some official literature before. I want to preface this by saying that for the most part, he's a prodigy at writing. He does it really well. Yet, with all that experience, he's done nothing original with this knowledge, a lot like Akko's rival Diana Cavendish. Diana clings to the traditional spells and already made spells, refusing to see past the flaws of her own stagnation and the advancement of her own personal progression. As Akko moves forward despite her fundamentals not being as refined as Diana's. The unconventional is attractive and propels the crafts we practice. Don't be shy about openly displaying your inspirations, as they build a strong foundation for your productions. Think of how Akko's magic was influenced by Shiny Chariot's performances. It's okay to start that way. Listening to what other people want does help sometimes, but don't let it replace the personality of the magic you've made. The magic of Little Witch Academia, as I learned, is precisely that. Little Witch Academia is a marvel of Studio Trigger's catalog. Started as a short film or OVA from passionate young animators as a training project for them to learn in the Studio Trigger environment. But the project soon blossomed into a TV series after a sequel short film's success, serving as an inspiring collage of fantasy and cartoony theatrical performances through animation. That's what makes this franchise so different from any other series to me. It feels so authentic in everything it does. You can feel the energy of everything these creators were passionate about in every frame. Almost like this is what puts a smile on my face. A lot like Akko. And that's what makes Little Witch Academia Studio Trigger's most magical anime.